Hello, and welcome to the Cursed Kingdom's very first monthly short story special. Today, we'll be entering into the depths of hell. So let us begin with our first short story, Good Intentions, by DJ Doyle. Boo. Stop! Stop joking around, Jennifer said to her jesting boyfriend, Aaron. She dropped the screwdriver from her hand. You're going to give me a heart attack one of these days. You'll be sorry then. Oh, you know I'm only kidding. I can't help it. It's just too easy, he laughed. Yes, but I'm up this stepladder trying to fix this curtain pole. If you were any good at DIY, it would be you doing this, being the man. No need to insult my manhood. I'll be doing more than that to your manhood if you keep it up, she giggled. Jennifer stepped down while holding onto Aaron's shoulders. Who could have reached up and tightened the loose screw without any effort? Aaron couldn't even change a light bulb. He grew up pampered and pandered to. Their servants did everything. That was before the market crash 4 years prior, when the family lost everything. Aaron's father was found in his favourite car with a gun in his hand. A good education allowed him to get a well-paid job. Jennifer was a grafter. She had her first job in a laundrette at the tender age of 12. Then worked in a supermarket weekends while she attended college. They met in a local coffee shop. Aaron accidentally picked up her coffee, but it was all just a ploy to talk to the woman, who he found attractive. They had been dating for 5 years, and they'd had their ups and downs, yet they always pulled through. You need to stop doing DIY and housework. It's time to get ready. We have to check into the hotel, and we have a table booked for 8 o'clock. That's in 4 hours. Susan and Rick will be here in 30 minutes, so get a move on. Where are we going again? She asked, as she opened her wardrobe door. Jennifer browsed through her dresses and inspected her line of shoes down below, trying to pick the best match. The Fort Lodge Hotel is in the middle of nowhere, replied Aaron. Never heard of the place. Right, I'm going for a shower, and we'll put my face on. Rick pulled up and parked their car outside. He smiled at Susan. Her vibrant red hair flowed like silk and suited her emerald green dress. His confidence and sense of humour had won her over. A large Jewish nose had been the butt of many jokes growing up, so he worked on his charm to talk to the ladies. They walked up the drive to the porch, and Susan rang the doorbell. Do you think she has an inkling? Whispered Rick. No, not a clue. I talked to her yesterday. She has no idea. The door opened, and Aaron stood there with a big grin. Hey guys, come in. Jennifer is nearly ready. She's dressed, makeup on, just doing her hair now. I have a bottle open. I hope Red is okay. Sure, Aaron, I'm thirsty as hell, said Rick. Aaron poured out 4 glasses. Jennifer came down the stairs in the blue dress Aaron adored. She tossed her long brown hair over her shoulder with a black leather bag, the last thing that remained of her grandmother. Wow, you look amazing, Jennifer, said Susan. You do too. Look at you in that dress. And Rick, very handsome in a shirt and tie. Hey, what about me? Do I look good? Of course you do, honey. And she kissed him on the cheek. chatted for a few minutes, discussing their hopes of what might be on the menu that evening and the luxury they would experience on their romantic weekend. The cab turned up outside, and they heard the impatient driver bang on the horn. All four finished the remainder of their wine in one go. Good. We're all going to have a good time. Are we all strapped in? Asked the driver. He heard multiple clicks from the back. First Lodge Hotel it is. I'll be doing the back roads as it's quicker from here, he said, and slid the safety hatch shut. Excitement filled the air. Jennifer hadn't been away in quite a while. She and Aaron had struggled with their first-year mortgage payments, so they needed a short break. They were finally on their feet. The girls talked about the latest dish Susan had tried from her favourite cooking show, while the boys laughed at the Trump and Clinton memes going around their office. Jennifer glared out the window. They had turned off the main road and were on a long, windy country road, only lit by the full moon. Tall trees stood on both sides of the road. Some were so overgrown, the long branches curved over and the leaves brushed against the top of the car. Jennifer found the sound quite soothing. Then she spotted some movement in the bushes and was convinced she saw a head pop up. That's odd, she thought. Where is this road? I've never been down here before. It's so creepy, said Susan. There used to be an old asylum near here. It closed down over 20 years ago, I think, Rick told them. The headlights on the car were not strong enough to see further than 100 yards. There's something in the road up ahead, said the driver. They were unable to hear him, so Rick instructed him to open the hatch. I said, there's something in the road up ahead. I can't see what it is. It's blocking the whole road. As the car got closer, they could see a large fallen branch. A mist began to flow through the trees like a river and gathered all around them. I'll get out and have a look, see if it's not too heavy to lift, and move out of the way. The driver's door eerily creaked as he opened it. Rustling noises came from beyond the trees. However, he couldn't see anything. He ducked back into the car to grab a flashlight and walked over to the obstruction in the road. The driver shoved the branch with his leg to test it. It shifted about a foot. Maybe we could move it after all, he thought, and beckoned Aaron to help him. Aaron slid out of the back seat, leaving the door ajar, and followed the light that shined directly in his eyes. He couldn't see a thing, so he raised his hand to block the rays. What's that noise? Jennifer asked. It sounds like moaning. As the driver waited for Aaron, the others in the car saw them coming. All they could see were silhouettes of people creeping forward with their arms stretched out. Who are they? What are they doing? Asked Jennifer. They lurked towards the inattentive driver and reached out. Jennifer and Susan yelled at him to turn around. Watch out! They're behind you! Rick struggled to get out of the car as his shaky hands tugged at the door handle. He shouted to warn them. 5 zombies mauled the driver and dragged him to the ground, with more lunging on top. They heard a shriek of pain, blood spraying out of the heap. Bits of flesh and intestines propelled into the air. The women screamed. Aaron stood frozen, facing the space where the driver had stood. Jennifer hollered for him to come back. Tears welled up in her eyes and trickled down her cheeks. What the hell is going on? Susan said. I think they're zombies, replied Jennifer. Don't be silly, zombies aren't real, said Rick. Come on, Aaron. What the hell do you want to call them then? Jennifer bellowed. They're probably escaped lunatics from the asylum I told you about. That closed down years ago. That's what you said, remember? Well, maybe I was wrong. More zombies came from the bushes. They headed straight for Aaron, grunting and moaning. Aaron turned to run, though it was too late. They hauled him down to the ground and lugged him over to the side of the road as they fought to get their pound of flesh. His body disappeared under the mass of zombies. Jennifer bawled, unable to breathe. She gasped for air. Rick, get back in the car and shut the doors. Don't make any noises, instructed Susan. I've seen enough zombie movies to know they're attracted to sound and light. We need to get out of here fast. Susan's heart pumped with adrenaline, and she knew Jennifer was in no state to think straight. She needed to keep control of her emotions and take command. Rick climbed into the front to make their getaway. Instead, an alarm invaded the night stillness. Sweat seeped down his forehead into his eyebrows. Fuck, what have I done? He thought. The noise rang through their ears, and the zombies perked their heads up to listen. More came from the trees on either side, all heading for the car. Turn it off! Susan shouted. Bloody thing, turn it off now! Rick fiddled with the dials and buttons. All the lights came on inside the car, and they could barely see outside anymore. He finally switched the alarm off. Then he turned off the lights. Susan gasped. Jennifer screeched. The car was now surrounded by zombies. They saw faces covered in blood, old and new, with rotting flesh exposed. Their clothes were tattered, and their black and brown blood-covered teeth made Jennifer gag. Susan jumped up in her seat as they clawed at the windows. Jennifer became enraged. Bastards! How are we going to get out of this? Whimpered Rick. They did not respond. The two women didn't know what to say. The car rocked back and forth as the zombies desperately tried to get at the people inside. Rick roared at them to get away, but that fell on dead ears. The windscreen started to shatter as the zombie pounded on it. It was the driver. They will eventually get in. What are we going to do? I don't want to die like this, said Susan. I'm getting us the hell out of here, Rick said, and tried starting the car. The door opened beside him, and he was yanked out. Help me! Help! He begged. Then it went quiet. Susan slammed the door shut. The trunk door clicked and started to open. Zombies poured into the back of the car and reached for Jennifer and Susan. They aren't getting me, Jennifer stated. She searched for something to defend herself with. Nothing. She checked through her bag in case she had some pepper spray or something. She didn't. Not that the spray would affect them. Rummaging some more, Jennifer found a screwdriver and remembered she'd had her bag on the floor when Aaron frightened her earlier on. It must have dropped right in. Jennifer aimed for the three zombies with their arms reaching through the headrests on the back seats. In the corner of her eye, she saw Aaron approaching the car, covered in blood. He did not look like the Aaron she knew, not the Aaron she fell in love with. He's a zombie now. She noticed Aaron holding something in his hand. Jennifer lashed out and stabbed each of the 3 closest zombies in the crown of the head. She heard a crunch from the bone cracking with force. Blood squirted like a pulse all over Jennifer. She didn't expect that from the dead. Some got into her mouth. It was sweet-flavoured. Horrified silence spread across the crowd of zombies. One lifted her hand to her face and screamed at the top of her voice. They backed away in terror. Jennifer glared at the blood on her hands and body. She stared at Aaron coming her way. He held a small opened box in his hands. A diamond ring sparkled under the moonlight. As they grabbed the driver, they ripped his shirt and trousers and squirted fake blood. They covered his face with grey and brown putty to make it look messy and threw fake flesh into the air above them. Aaron lay on the ground while they made a mess of his face and clothes with more putty and fake blood. Rick was gagged and dragged away before being let in on the plan. He giggled when he spied on Susan and Jennifer from behind a bush, so frightened on their own. Aaron took the ring from his pocket and took a deep breath. This was the moment that would change their lives forever. He trembled at the sight of the slaughter. "Jennifer, it was all a joke. I was going to ask you to marry me." "And that is why you do not pull a prank on an independent woman." Or at least a zombie prank, I guess. That twist at the end certainly did get me. I hope it did the same for you as well.